So today I am going to follow up with my county to ask some questions on our cottage food operation permitting and registration form. I do have some questions. For our county, there are 5 pages to this application, and of course, whenever it is that you're going through any legal processes, you want to have the best information possible. And I find that I have some questions. So we're going to make a call to the county to see if we can obtain the information that I'm looking for.
Good morning, Environmental Health. How can I help you?
Hi, I am looking into the cottage food operation permit, and I have a few questions. Are you able to help me with that?
No, but I can direct you to the right office. What area of the county are you in?
I'm in.
Good morning, Environmental Health.
My name is Cooney, and I am looking into obtaining a cottage food operation permit, and I have a few questions on the application. Are you able to help me with that?
Let me get an inspector. 1 moment.
Thank you.
Environmental Health, this is Amy. How may I help you?
Hi, my name is Cooney, and I live in, and I am looking into filling out the permitting and registration form for a cottage food operation, and I have a handful of questions. Are you able to help me with that?
Sure, you're in though?
I am.
I'm going to actually send you to the inspector that's in charge of that area.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning, Health Department.
Hello. I hope you're finally the one that I need. My name is Cooney. I live in, and I'm looking to obtain some information about the cottage food operation permit, and I wondered if you can answer a few questions for me.
Yep, that'll be me. I would be your inspector.
The first question, I don't know why it's not like blaring like in bright bold letters or numbers. What are the costs for the Class A and the Class B?
Sure, yeah. So that's going to be on our application registration form. Have you accessed our website at all?
Have I started what?
Have you accessed our website at all?
I have accessed the website. I've printed out. I'm a little bit old school, so I actually printed out the application so I could take a look at it. I function a little better with things in my hand than I do on the screens, and that might be why it wasn't so easy for me to exactly know what it is I'm looking at. But yeah, I have the 5-page permitting and registration form. Is there a second form?
Yeah, there's going to be a second form below that form on our website. It'll say application/registration to operate. I know it's kind of confusing because they both say registration.
Okay.
But we would need both of those forms.
Okay.
And on that form, that's the cost difference.
Okay.
And for Class A's, it's $197, and for Class B's, it's $377.
$377. Okay.
Yeah.
And the Class A does not require an annual inspection, or initial or annual inspection, but the Class B does, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
But you still, for the Class A, are required to submit annually if you do plan on renewing. So just all the same documents that you submitted the first time around, you just resubmit those for the Class A and the Class B, but the Class A is just a document review, essentially.
Okay, perfect. And, oh gosh, I had a question that went out the window. Do you notify us when we need to submit, or do we just need to make sure that we're like, oh, by April 1st, I need to do it, that kind of thing?
Yes and no. That's really dependent on our fiscal department because they're the ones that kind of keep track of when permits are due. I know this past year, since we upgraded our system, they kind of fell behind that, so it's been on me to kind of let our operators know. But if I'm notifying you at that point, you're probably a little bit late, and you might be getting late fees. So I always tell people keep track of your permit.
Okay, as we should,
thousands of you.
as we should with everyone. I just wondered because I do notice that some things do let you know and some don't, and so I thought, well, why not ask?
Yeah.
I have you on the phone.
Yeah, to my understanding, I think they do send out like, oh, here's your bill, here's your statement, make sure you pay it. So they might start doing that again, but again, don't quote me on that. I'm not quite sure.
No, absolutely not. I appreciate you being honest about that. Okay, so, and then once I fill out the application, how do I submit it?
So you can either submit it via email or you can come into the office, whichever is easiest for you.
Okay.
And then I can give you my email.
Okay. I'll take it. And then about how long does it take typically to receive an approval for a Class A?
So we have 20 days to review, depending on how busy I am or how many CFOs I receive, kind of depends on how quick I can get back to you. I'm usually pretty good within the first 2 weeks. I like to try and get back to you guys. And then after that, it just kind of depends on you guys on how quick you're responding to my emails and corrections that need to be made, if anything.
Okie dokie, perfect.
Yeah. And then when you do submit everything, just to make the process go a little bit quicker, we're required the 2 forms, a copy of your ID. If your ID doesn't match the address listed on the CFO, some form of proof of residency, so like an electric bill.
Yeah.
The following year, it could be a business license.
Yeah, it matches. I'm not worried about that.
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Then we would need sample labels.
Oh, okay.
And on page 5
I saw that.
of that form, there's sample labels. So as long as you're following that format,
okay,
you'll be totally fine. And you don't need your full address on the label either. I get that a lot.
Oh.
Just your city, state, and zip code.
City, state, zip. Okay. The sample label, is it just like...
Food handler card, sorry.
Oh, so the food handlers, you prefer that done first?
I do prefer that. It does take 3 months, but it's just easier so that I don't forget about it. And so that way you don't forget about it either.
Absolutely. And it's a simple, easy thing to do up front. So I totally understand that. Okay. So, and then the sample label, is it just like does it need to be the label itself, or does it just need to be like, I have the formatting down, here's a printed copy on a sheet of paper?
We want all the labels of all the food items you intend on making.
Oh.
If you, for example, you say, okay, I just want to start with cookies right now, that's totally fine. You send me all your cookie labels that you intend on making. So like snickerdoodle, chocolate chip, so on and so forth. And then later on you want to add like scones or something else to your label. Then you can do that. As long as your permit is current, it's free of charge. Just send in the labels and I'll review them and let you know.
Okay, so at that point, when we send in the labels, what do you mean by send in the labels? You mean like I mean, I can't really like email you a label if it's like a sticky label, or you just
take a picture of it and then send that over that way.
Okay, picture.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then we just say here's.
On like the formatting on a Word doc, even though the label might look a little bit nicer, as long as I know that you know that all that information needs to be on the label.
Okay. That is what I was trying to ask. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's what I was trying to ask, but I was probably being so specific that you're like, just send the label. Okay, so then...
It just needs to be, sorry, before I forget, it does need to be printed. We can't accept handwritten labels.
Oh, sure. Of course. I wouldn't want a handwritten label on my product if I was receiving one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so for the proposed food items, if I'm using something like marshmallows or something like that because I am starting with cookies and probably some like little breads and whatever it is I end up designing, or cupcakes or things like that. Do I need to check the box for like candy and confections if any of those items like marshmallows would be in my, let's say, cookies or whatever it is I'm making?
Nope, just mark cookies and then make sure that the marshmallows are reflected on the label.
Okay, so I even noticed it says like buttercream frosting with butter. Like I'm not selling the buttercream frosting by itself. It would be like on a cupcake. Do I check that box?
Yeah, you can. And then I do ask that for like labels that do have cupcakes or icings on top of them, you have like the regular ingredients for the cake listed first, and then below you clearly label frosting with the ingredients listed second. That way I can verify what's inside the frosting.
Perfect. Okay, and then same thing for extracts. I don't necessarily need to check mark the extracts. I just list it on the label.
Yeah, you're not making the extracts, correct?
Not making them, correct.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. On the label, as long as if it's ingredients as a part of your baked good, you don't need to mark it separate on the label or on the checklist.
So for me, it would just be like if it's cookies or like muffins, cupcakes, that kind of thing, I just put baked goods and that's probably it.
Yep.
Okay, that is nice and easy. Okay, and let's see. Oh wow. You answered my whole description of foods without me even asking. That's nice. You're very good.
Perfect.
Okay.
I get a lot of you guys.
I'm glad you know what you're doing and this is not your first day because it is my first day.
Not a problem at all.
Okay, I think I only have 2 more questions. And for the facility requirements, where it says, are the rooms within the home exclusively used for CFO storage? Box yes or no, check yes or no. What are the requirements regarding storage? I'm not sure what that exactly means.
Yeah, no problem. So basically, we just don't want you storing like your food. Say you have an extra refrigerator, we would prefer you to store all your CFO food inside the home. We don't actually allow for any garage storage, so you can keep your personal home food in the garage, but anything for the CFO, we ask that you keep it inside. Say you have like a spare bedroom that you kind of convert to like your packaging area, that would be kind of like the area that you marked for additional rooms in the home used for CFO. We just ask again if there's no like bed stored in there so people aren't sleeping where you're also making your food. If it's like a kitchen pantry, that doesn't really count as part of your kitchen, right? So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would probably mark no because it would be like in a pantry. Perfect.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. And then the waste disposal, trash stored in a bin with a tight-fitting lid. So the one that we have in the kitchen most of the time is it's got a tight-fitting lid, but it has a swing top. Is that okay or not okay?
Yeah, that's fine as long as if you do accidentally touch the top of the lid or anything, you were washing your hands in between.
Oh my gosh, I am obsessive about that.
Yeah, it should be fine.
I'm fairly obsessive about that with our own food. I'm extra if I'm making, like if people are coming over or whatever, it's like, no, you do not need to have any goop in your food. And then as far as the, it seemed fairly clear, but just to triple check, I have animals, as long as they're not in my kitchen area while I'm cooking for other people, then it's fine.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have plenty of CFOs that they have their their dogs, but then they have like a baby gate to keep them out of the kitchen while they're doing their CFO.
Okay, and then I mean our kitchen's kind of, everybody's house has a great room now, so it's the kitchen / great room.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like the confines of like the counter edges and stuff. That's basically what we're looking for. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. I kind of figured, I'm like, there's no way that these people don't have children and don't have animals. Now, my children are old, so I don't have to worry about that. But that's it. Okay, perfect.
They'll keep them like locked in the hallway area or put them outside or keep them in a bedroom.
Yeah, no, totally get it. I guess I lied. I skipped one question.
Okay.
My thought is with doing this, I will be filing for an LLC, which of course I have a house. I don't need somebody taking my house. Anyway, so I will be filing for an LLC, but I would think that I would want to do this first to ensure that the approval happens before I file the LLC. My business name is Cooney's Cookies, and so because it's got my name in it, I don't need to file a DBA. When I fill out the application, would I need to put on there that there is an LLC at all, or?
As part of like
the business name.
You can put like the facility name on the application. You can put it what was the cookie name?
Cooney's, Kuny, Cooney's Cookies.
Yeah, you can put Cooney's Cookies LLC.
Okay. And then
if you'd like, or you can just leave it without. Totally up to you.
Okay, so I'll put it with it just to be triple check, and then once I'm approved, then I'll do my LLC, and then it'll match.
Yeah, that's not a problem with us. But however you would like to name your business, essentially.
Okay, perfect. Well, I appreciate you so much. Thank you. You have been a oodles and a slew and plethora of information that has made this a little bit less anxiety-producing for me.
Oh, I'm glad I could help.
All right. So at some point in the not-too-distant future, I'm sure I will be emailing you with the application.
Okay, sounds good. And then if you just want to go ahead and give me a call back once you've submitted all that information, just so that I can verify if I have gotten it or not, because sometimes emails don't come through all the time.
For sure.
That way you're not like, well, it's been 20 days. Where is my application? Why hasn't she emailed me?
Exactly.
That way we can verify.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you as well.
Bye-bye. All right, so we got a lot of really good information. It was such a huge help for us here to put my mind at ease just a little bit about what's going to happen next. So one of my first questions was, I know that I want to file an LLC. when you file an LLC, you have to be really, really careful to ensure that all of your business dealings have the LLC entity name on it. And because I haven't filed that yet, I'm thinking, ooh, what order do I do it in? I don't want to file the LLC, you know, and in California, which, by the way, many other states are so much better about the costs. The cost to start up the LLC, if I do it on my own, is only about $70, but they require an $800 tax. The privilege of living in California is it's very expensive. An $800 tax per year just for the privilege of having the LLC does not actually mean that you've done any business. You filed it, you're paying it. So I would hate to file for the LLC, be on the hook for $800 a year, and then find out that for some reason I can't have the permit to be able to run the home bakery the way that I think that I should be able to. So that puts my mind definitely at ease, and I'll just go ahead and write the LLC entity name on there, and then once I file the LLC, I'm covered there. I don't have to circle back and do that. It is also interesting. I did not understand from the application, and that might be because I kind of glossed over the labeling requirements, like, oh, I'll get to that when I actually fill out the application. But I did not realize they were going to need a full and complete ingredient list with the label, the whole 9 yards, all formatted and exactly perfect for each individual item before I submit the application or when I submit the application. So that was interesting. And then of course, you know, like who doesn't have animals? Well, I don't know people that don't have animals. I am an animal lover. So obviously we have our dog, we have our cat. We also have a couple of guinea pigs and some fish and a bird. And, you know, sometimes my children act like animals. But I don't know, children in the kitchen, does that qualify for one who's darn near not a child anymore? I don't know. Cameraman, you may have to stay out of the kitchen. Once this goes full, we'll have to put the camera and the cameraman outside of the kitchen. So you know, finding out all of these things definitely is I feel like I could breathe a little. I've kind of been putting it off because I'm still in the stage where I'm determining what it is exactly I want to sell, locking down exactly what my ingredients are for my recipes and whatnot. So I've kind of been like kicking the can down the road, like, oh, I'll get to that eventually. But I'm like, you know what? Stop. Just stop and do it. And so I'm glad that I have. My mind has been put to ease a little bit. And so hopefully you will find that this is helpful information, if nothing other than to know that it is very quick and easy to just reach out to your local office that handles your CFO permits and to be able to ask some questions. And if you're going through and you find some strange things on your applications, pick up the phone and give them a call. Have a wonderful day.
Next time on Cooney's Cookie Chronicles.
Today I will be making snickerdoodles. Now I normally make my snickerdoodles with fresh milled flour. So this will be my first attempt at making a recipe I found on Modern Honey.
That is a lot of butter.
That is 2 cups of butter. That was weird. Why did it do that?
It's like a car. You know, when you turn it on, it just rolls.
I'm gonna go up a little bit here. Not gonna lie. We're gonna switch to Squidward.
This shot, it looks terrible. Because I can't get everything in the shot.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to readjust. Is it gonna track?
Hey everybody, it's
wish.
me.
Is it gonna track?
No, it's not gonna track. Do you want it to track?
No.
Right.
That's not how that goes. Why are we sounding like this? Like I said, you never know what's gonna happen around here.